Good afternoon. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, September 25th, 2024, 2 p.m. meeting. Madam Chair, do you have any opening remarks?
Say it again, Mr. Say it again.
Do you have any opening remarks?
I don't think so. Everyone here has been here before. We have one case here. You guys know how it works, so let's go.
Okay. We have case 47924, Elmont, 299 Hempstead, LLC, doing business as Popeyes. Waive off-street parking with insufficient maneuverability and backup space. Special exception to park in front yard setback on Gotham Avenue. Proposed restaurant in existing building, also known as 299 Hempstead Turnpike. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Please take a seat and state your name and address to the record.
Dominic Minerva and D'Agostino, 107 South Central Avenue, Valley Stream, New York, attorney for the applicant.
Ethan Chakosky, Atlantic Traffic and Design, 275 Broad Hollow Road, Belleville, New York, traffic engineer.
Good afternoon. The application before you today is for a parking variance to permit the change of use of the existing commercial building located at 299 Hempstead Turnpike in Elmont to a Popeyes restaurant. Property is located on the southwest corner of Hempstead Turnpike and Gotham Avenue. It's identified as Section 32, Block 429, tax lots 1 through 3 on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map, and it's located in the business district. It's also located across the street from part of the Belmont Racetrack. This commercial building was originally constructed in 1925, and the last use, as per the search sheet, was a physical therapy facility. The proposed new restaurant is 1,769 square feet in size and will contain only 18 seats, so it's a very small dining area. Although 21 spaces are required by code and 3 are provided, I would note that only 6 spaces plus 3 for employees would be required if the lesser figure was used of the 1 space per 3 seats. And as you'll hear from the applicant's parking engineer momentarily, sufficient on-street parking exists in the surrounding area to accommodate the anticipated demand from this restaurant. I would note on the site plan we also parked for 3 spaces for employees, which covers up to 12 employees, but speaking with my client, he expects there to be 4 to 5 employees and 5 to 6 employees on a max peak shift. So although there's 3 spaces for employees on the requirements, that's not going to be the actual demand. I'd also just note that the applicant operates 32 Popeyes restaurants in New York City and its boroughs, as well as additional fast food restaurants they also operate. They're in the process of opening 3 in Nassau County, 2 here in the town of Hempstead, this one in Elmont, and I was working with them at one at 410 Hempstead Turnpike in West Hempstead, which that one will have a drive-through and it's a larger building, and that one is just about to open. We also need a variance for parking in the front yard setback, but that's an existing condition that has existed there for many years. It's not a new situation we're introducing, and actually those few blocks in that immediate area, it's all developed that way, with the buildings actually up to the setback line on Hempstead Turnpike and parking lots with parking in the front yard setback to the rear. And going over the radius map as you go west, on the next corner, 277 Hempstead Turnpike, it's a church with a parking lot in the rear with parking in the front yard setback. 271 Hempstead Turnpike, which is directly across the street, Waldorf Avenue, from the church. That is a deli, also with a parking lot in the front yard, with parking in the front yard setback. And then the next intersection, Biltmore and Hempstead Turnpike, that is an office with parking in the front yard setback as well. And I'll just submit, I have a little marked up aerial showing the parking lots in the rear with the parking in the front yard setbacks and identifying the addresses. So I'll submit that as applicant's Exhibit A. And last thing I would note, you know, we have 18 seats. Technically, if we had 12 seats, it's not classified as a restaurant. It would be takeout, and there would be no change in the parking. So we're really asking for a variance to be able to increase it from 12 to 18 seats, so 6 seats.
So the prior business already had the waiver for the 12, right?
Well, the building was built non-conforming.
But,
So, and it was built in 1925 as a commercial building. It was last used as physical therapy. So my understanding is if we renovated the building, and it wouldn't be considered a restaurant if it's 12 seats or less, it would be retail takeout, that we would not be required to go for a waiver of off-street parking.
well, yeah, so whatever was, even if you needed only 12, you'd need a waiver unless you have 12 or relief. So I'm assuming that whatever was built there before already had a variance for the 12. That's why I'm asking.
I don't believe it had a variance for the, well, it's 12 seats, so it would be, I think it
Or
would be
very-
1 per 200, so it would be like 8 or 9 spaces. But it was built non-conforming, so it was built before you had the parking requirement. So that 1,800 square feet was built with 4 spaces.
Oh, you mean
because
the PT was,
They didn't go for variance. I'm not aware
because
of
the
them.
PT was in the non-conforming, it's only
Right.
now a new building?
Right, so it went from like a
Yeah,
retail
I
to
thought
an
the P-
office. Yeah.
I didn't know this was the first user after the building was reconstructed, which is why you're here for the whole relief, right?
We're here to get permission to now change it to a restaurant.
But no relief has been granted previously?
No.
You know, because if there was a 12 already granted, we're talking about a 6 for
Right.
us. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
No, I'm not
No
aware. of it.
relief.
The search sheet did not indicate there was a prior variance grant. At this time, I'll call Ethan Schakowsky from Atlantic Traffic and Design to just give the board a summary of his report, and I'm going to submit a copy of that as applicant's Exhibit B, but you do have it, you know, in the portal as well.
Good afternoon. As I mentioned, Ethan Schakowsky. I've been recognized as a traffic and parking expert before this board, and my credentials have not changed since that time. We evaluated the site and the nearby traffic and parking conditions. We're along eastbound Hempstead Turnpike.
Pardon me, do you have a report you're looking through that we can have a copy of to follow with you?
I submitted the report to
I have
the
more.
board staff.
I
We do have additional
Today?
if you would like them.
I have more
No, I had
copies.
uploaded it to the portal a couple weeks ago, and
I just
gave-
wanted to admit it if you just were getting it in.
I have more copies if you'd like.
Does anyone else want a copy of the parking? Yeah, could we have a
Okay,
couple
so
more?
1, 2, 3, 4 more.
Mr. Minerva,
Here.
this
Mark.
building, which says sports medicine and orthopedic rehab, it's colored in gray on this photo. Is that the only building, or there's another building attached to it?
There is another building attached to that, but that is a separate building.
And
So all, that whole block is all attached, the whole,
Okay.
until you get to the church. I think the church has a break. But yes, as you go westerly along Hempstead Turnpike, it's attached to the next building over.
And this is the only building that's before us?
The only building before you, only tax lots on your radius map, tax lots 1, 2, and 3. So it's about 41.29 feet of frontage on Hempstead Turnpike. That's the only building that's the subject of the
Okay,
application.
thank you. No.
Wait, Mr. Minerva, I apologize, I missed the first part. I thought you were saying that this structure previously wasn't non-conforming, but that that this is a new building in its place now?
No,
this is-
it's an existing commercial building built in 1925. It was renovated into a physical therapy facility in 1999 with a final certificate, and we're now saying we're going to change the use of that building and renovate it into a restaurant, which now that we're going from office, retail to restaurant, now it's the 1 per 100 instead of the 1 per 200 parking
Right.
requirement, and that's why we're before you for a parking variance. But we're not touching the old building. We're just, in terms of, we're not expanding it, we're not demoing it, rebuilding, we're just rehabbing it.
Maybe your expert or whomever, how many spaces would be required if this were not a non-conforming and it was a retail use?
Oh, well, it's 1 per 200, so it's 1,769 square feet, so 1,800 divided by 2 would be 9.
9 spaces. And now
8
you're
or 9.
required 21.
Now required 21.
Thank you.
Yep.
Do we have a copy of the non-conforming of the prior in our file?
It-
You do have, yes, the BZA search sheet is uploaded. I do have another copy handy.
Wait, no, we
Not the
haven't.
search sheet, the non-conforming
If,
list.
if I may, Mr. Minerva,
Yeah.
it was built in 1925?
Yeah, I have that abstract from Nassau County. I
Okay.
can submit that.
At which point, there was no parking, off-street, or parking requirements, there was no ordinance for that.
Correct.
That only came into 1965.
57 or something.
57?
Whatever.
Either way, it was built
Much
before that
later.
that year. Yeah.
Right. So it's not really, well, it's a non-conforming because it was built prior to the parking.
Right. So in 1999, when they changed it to a physical therapy, they obtained 2 final certificates, one for interior alterations physical therapy and one for a non-conforming building. And I don't have copies of the file, I just have the abstract from the
Understood.
search sheet.
Well, we don't have the non-conforming letter.
No, I don't have that.
No, he said there was-
He had an abstract that says it
Go ahead, Mr. Minerva.
You can please proceed.
I'll just continue with my testimony. So as I mentioned, we're along eastbound Hempstead Turnpike, State Route 24. To the south of the property is primarily residential, and to the north of our property, on the other side of Hempstead Turnpike, is the Belmont Stakes stable grounds. The Hempstead Turnpike is served by N1 and N6 bus lines of the Nassau County Nassau Inter-County Express, nice bus line. So there's sidewalk and bus transit accommodations along Hempstead. As Mr. Minerva has already mentioned, there's only 3 parking stalls available on the existing site, which will be maintained in the proposed condition. So the focus of our parking analysis was really what available off-street parking there was in the area within walkable distance. There's no walkable municipal lots, so we looked at the available street parking for Hempstead Turnpike, Waldorf Avenue, Gotham Avenue, and Savoy Avenue, all within what we considered a reasonable walking distance to the restaurant. We looked at peak times for a quick service restaurant of this nature. We're looking at the evening lunch period, the evening dinner, and then a Saturday midday period as well.
Well, we don't have a drive. Did you
No
say drive-through?
drive-through.
Okay. Takeout.
Right, so our focus is really just on parking in general and what the parking demand, which would account for, those who needed to stop in the restaurant to, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in and out in just a few minutes, and that space becomes available
Yeah.
3 minutes later.
It's a higher turnover.
As you go through telling us what your analysis turned up, can you kind of parse those things out along the way so we're following, at least for me? I'd like during this time, while sales are up this much, the fact of the matter is, most of that, some percentage of that increase is just an increase in the DoorDash or the online ordering and the pickup and whatever, not people coming to park and sit in these 18 seats.
Yeah, I don't have a breakdown of the DoorDash sales versus sales that would be for people coming to park and get takeout or get services. I think the applicant may have some information on that as they operate at these
I would
restaurants.
put takeout in the category. I'm really just breaking down people who are parking and sitting and eating versus all the other sales, because my guess is 80% of the sales are in one of the other groups,
Yeah, I get,
takeout or.
so you're getting to you want to break down between takeout and dine-in, so I will.
I just want to
yep.
understand the analysis as you go, that's all.
Yeah.
I think your client has
Yeah, I'll get some, I'll let Ethan proceed.
Let me
and I'll-
describe what we did, and then they could, I think, give some more clarity into that operation. Well, our focus is really what the parking situation is on the adjacent streets, because there's so little parking at this particular site. We wanted to make sure the on-street parking could accommodate any increase in demand in the area. So we looked at those streets. We found that peak demand on the adjacent street parking was during Saturday midday. They were about 83% parked. 83% of the on-street parking was taken during the Saturday midday period. I'm sorry, let me just, that was Hempstead Turnpike from Biltmore Avenue to LZ Avenue, Waldorf Avenue from Hempstead to LZ, ELZEY Avenue.
Is there another name for that street?
I may be a typo, not sure.
Yeah, you have Waldorf. We're on the corner of Gotham and Hempstead Turnpike. You have Waldorf 1 block west and Savoy 1 block east. And Biltmore's
Yeah,
further
so
west.
in
after
in
Waldorf.
my let's see,
Do you have an aerial?
it's Savoy Avenue. I'm not sure. It may be a typo in my report here. Yeah, Biltmore. If you go to the appendix, Figure 1 in the appendix shows the in yellow the outlined areas. Yep. Yep. So parking's only permitted on the south side of Hempstead Turnpike. So only on the south side. Waldorf Avenue, sorry, let me get back to my notes here. Apologize. Waldorf Avenue, parking's permitted only along the northbound lane. Gotham Avenue, parking's only permitted along the northbound lane. And then Savoy Avenue. I'm sorry?
Northbound lane,
Correct.
so that'd be
Yep.
the east side.
Yes, the east side.
That'd be the east side of the street.
Gotham Avenue, we studied which along the northbound, which would be the east side. That's where it's legal. And then it's signed no parking anytime. Sometimes people park there. Correct. It's signed such that you are not supposed to park there. Some people park there on occasion.
Right.
Yeah. Savoy Avenue, parking's permitted on both sides of the roadway. It's a one-way road. Correct. Yep.
At the peak, right?
At the peak, yep. We also used the Institute of Transportation Engineers, ITE, that we use for parking data. So we looked at the size of the proposed building for the specific use, which is a fast food without a drive-through. I'm sorry, what page?
In your report.
Yeah, I'm on page 4. So we took the total supply as 65 parking spaces on the street, and then 3 stalls on the site. So a total of 68.
No, that's the overall parking supply in the study area. That's how many spots are there? Yeah.
Yes.
If they're all empty, there's 68, and then he's gonna take you through how many of those were occupied at each time when they did the study.
Yep.
In terms of the max peak, and then it trails off, it builds up in the morning and obviously trails off later on.
Yeah. Yes. So 68 total, including our 3 stalls. That's the total supply. The observed demand without our restaurant, obviously not open, was 54 parked cars on the street.
That was a Saturday midday peak hour.
Correct. Saturday
The
midday
most.
peak hour. That was the most. Correct. Using the ITE parking data research, we found there'd be a peak demand for the restaurant without a drive-through, 13 vehicles. That's our calculated demand. Yeah, that would be Saturday midday. So with the 54 plus the 13, we have 68 provided and 60. I lost my numbers here. 67, yep. And a surplus of 5 parking stalls. So in conclusion, using the on-street parking, we find there would be adequate space to park.
And I would just note in his report, on the weekday evening peak hour, it was only 34, and the weekday midday was 37.
But wait,
So Saturday was the only day where we still meet the demand, but it's close, whereas during the week it's...
but the weekday, how about this? So what about weekday dinner time? Because to me, that's a time when a lot of these spots, so,
It was only 52%
hold on.
occupied.
So the 65 spots that are available off-street at the peak time of noon on Saturday or about that, a lot of those spots, the majority of them are going to be on these residential streets, right?
Yes.
Okay, so.
All of
he-
them are gonna be.
Well,
Well,
Hempstead,
except Hempstead.
Turnpike.
So-
Turnpike for 3
so-
blocks
not a
as well.
residential street.
So, tell us about the evenings when it's like a dinner time rush hour, because I can't imagine how many of those spots are taken up by people who are home from work. And the 54 demand without your restaurant, that was a business demand, right? Or was that,
Well,
That was just total cars parked on the street at that time. So
Saturday midday.
Yeah, during the Saturday midday.
right? But I
and
think
then-
I think that peak hour is less likely to have as many people home as 7 PM or 8 PM on a weekday. Because on Saturday, will go other places too in the middle of the day, sports for the kids, whatever. What's the demand? I'm interested in how, since so much of the parking is reliant on residential neighborhoods, tell us about the dinner time demand of, without your business, and availability without your business, and how the dinner time is still gonna provide the 13 spots you're gonna
Yeah.
need for this other peak hour too.
Okay, so he'll
if-
take you through the weekday evening peak hours.
Yeah, the weekday evening peak hour, we looked,
Wait,
we
is
found
this-
a max, it's on that same table 1 on page 11, page 4, sorry, looking at September 11.
Wait,
On page 4, we have the weekday midday, the weekday evening, and the Saturday midday.
was it Roman
That
numeral?
weekday evening, we actually showed less parked cars than the Saturday midday.
Hold on. Is it a Roman numeral form? Here.
In
Page,
the top right corner, it's page 4 or 5.
Oh, I see.
page 4.
I'll-
Table 1,
Got it. I
parking
couldn't
demand
find
by
it.
peak hour. Our weekday evening, we found 34, about 52% occupied at that time.
What
and that
time of day was it?
So we looked from 5 to 7 p.m.
5 to 7.
on a Wednesday.
I mean, I think it should have gone probably to 8, you know.
Yep.
So we saw the peak during that 5 to 7 actually at 5:30, and then it dipped down.
Well, how'd you know it was a peak if you didn't count the other times? I mean, how do you know,
I
how'd you
think
know the peak ended at 7:30 if you must have at least counted 8 and said, oh, well, it was way less, this is my peak range.
We go off of typical high demand periods for the restaurant. So
Does the ITE have a demand time frame for the peak dinner?
they do, yeah.
Is it 5 to 7?
I believe so, yes. See if I have that.
Yeah, I think he said when you were getting towards 7, I understand your question. It was getting
Yeah.
towards 7, it was trailing off, not up, but I understand you're asking if it was going to
Yeah, I
go
mean,
back
it may be
up.
till 7, but you wouldn't really know
But-
unless you counted 8, 8:30 or
I
something.
would think at 5:30, I could somewhat understand it, because now you have both the residential people coming home, and you still have the office people who may not have left. So I could see how it would start to go down as it got later.
Yeah, you
in the
probably
evening.
have less demand on Hempstead Turnpike at that time. as
Yeah,
it
I
gets
would
later,
think that's
too.
true.
So,
But you would know if you saw where the spots were, for the most part, like, you know.
Yeah.
If they're clear down the residential area down one of the streets, and there are a few empty closer up, then you can pretty much figure out that the people down there are at houses, because they wouldn't park way down there if there was open spots further up.
right.
I may have missed it. How many spaces are on Hempstead Turnpike?
Hempstead Turnpike specifically,
In the
we
study area.
did 19, in our space, we found a supply of 19.
How many?
19,
19 in front of your building?
3 blocks.
No,
No, the
the
study
whole
area.
study area,
Study
not
area
in front of our
was
building.
basically a radius map, Savoy
Yeah.
to,
Okay.
it was either I think it was to Waldorf.
Yeah,
Yep, okay.
So in the study area where it's determined to be walkable, there was 19 spaces available on Hempstead Turnpike out of the total 65.
19 available. Did you do a study on that? Peak time, no time?
So,
Anytime, lunchtime?
yeah, during the, if you look at our breakdown, actually, and this is in the appendix,
What's,
2 of 3 in appendix C, you'll see that, to my earlier point, Hempstead Turnpike peaks at that 5:30 with 10 parked vehicles, and then that trails off as you get closer to 7. And you'll see the residential parking demand stay fairly consistent throughout that whole 5 to 7 period.
Some of them
So
don't have
section
pages.
A is Hempstead Turnpike,
Wait a
sections B, C, and D are the residential streets.
Some of mine don't have page numbers, I'm sorry. 2 of 3, there's 2 of 3.
Yeah, that's appendix C, and we have the table for each, period.
Where's appendix? So confused.
This is, next
There's
time.
2 of 3, but
I know
it's
you
not
say
an
it's
appendix,
paper,
but-
but it's difficult to do back and front.
Apologies for that, yeah. I'll do one-sided on my next visit here.
I don't know which one C is either.
Okay, so Exhibit C, there's a small Roman numeral 4 in the bottom right corner of the page.
Hold on, small Roman numeral 4.
Small Roman numeral 4, the bottom right
Okay,
corner
got
of the
it.
page, Appendix C. And then when you flip the page,
Oh, that's just a cover page, a title page?
that's the
Yes,
title
yeah.
page,
Oh.
Appendix C.
Okay.
And then when you flip the page, the second page is the evening, 5 PM to 7 PM. And parking section A is Hempstead Turnpike.
Yes, correct,
And that has the number
Where's
of
A?
parked cars.
correct. So you'll see you'll see the number of parked cars in the top table, and then if
So at
everyone's on the same
5:30
table.
PM, the peak was 10 of the 19 occupied.
How do you know that's Hempstead? How would I know it's Hempstead Turnpike?
I'm sorry, if the figure 1 had the map which identified A, B.
Figure 1, yep.
Okay, wait, Appendix A is figures, apparently, right?
Yes.
It has a Roman numeral of 2, and on the back of it, it has a picture of a map.
It
I mean,
does.
Yeah. And in that
Google Earth
map,
picture.
it shows you that Hempstead Turnpike parking is A, section A.
Wait, what shows me that?
Can I approach?
Yes. I mean, I create appendix all the time, and I don't know why I can't figure this out. So that's the first picture.
Here, Hempstead Turnpike parking, the study
Oh,
area,
that-
section A.
Hold on,
And then when you go to
you gotta take a labeling class.
Exhibit C, 5 to 7
Yes.
PM, section A, the
I
most
see.
was 10
Wow.
of the 19.
Okay. No, I'm gonna show you. You're not-
Yeah, I know that. I have to go back
No,
and
no, no.
forth.
So actually, Hempstead Turnpike
A,
never filled up,
Yeah,
even at the peak Saturday period.
Right.
terrible.
it is.
And then, so there's the,
So we have to take,
we got it.
I'm sorry, that was Wednesday, okay. So the weeknight, Wednesday, Hempstead Turnpike, the 19 spaces never filled up, so there's always parking available on Hempstead Turnpike on the weekday evening. Which is an indication that, not much of the parking would be pushed into the residential
It would
side
have been,
streets.
you know what, the simple thing, at the top of these, even though you call them A, you go, just put Hempstead. And you
Yeah,
can
I
put
understood.
C map, because that shows us what
You're-
portion it is of Waldorf.
I'm taking notes for my next
Okay,
application
Waldorf.
here.
C is Gotham. T is Savoy. All right. Here, I
It's like, where's Waldo?
All right.
And just to answer your earlier question, I did consult with my client, and again, they operate 32 of these Popeyes. 85 to 90% of the businesses, people taking out and the delivery services, and 10 to 15% actually dine in, which goes in keeping with how we have, we have
So
such a small.
80% is takeout of whatever fashion.
85 to 90.
85.
And well, they're gonna double park on Hempstead Turnpike. That's
Well,
what
we
it's-
can't predict that.
That's I don't think you can double park on that Hempstead Turnpike.
Well,
I
you
drove
can't,
it.
But we can. Question, what about, how many employees?
So 5 to 6 on a max peak shift.
Okay, can we instruct the employees not to park in the lot, right?
yeah.
So at least we've got a couple of spots.
We expect
That's
most
not
to
a
take
problem.
public transit.
How long is the employee shift? From what to what?
It's an 8-hour.
8 hours.
employee shift.
And they start at,
Let me, since you have a few more operational questions, I'll bring my client up.
okay, it's your case.
Also, what are the,
And address on the record.
hours? No, I want the hours of operation too.
Thank you.
And the tree.
Sir, were you sworn in?
Tariq Ahmed, 129.
Sir, stand up, please.
I'm sorry.
Do you swear the testimony you'll give is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Now you may have a seat, and please state your name and address for the record, and then your relationship to the business.
Sure. My name is Tariq Ahmed,
Can you put the
Address
mic
is-
closer?
129 Cottage Boulevard, Hicksville, New York, 11801. I'm a director of operation for all the restaurants for Bukhari Group.
So what are the proposed hours of operation for this restaurant?
It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., most probably depending on business.
10 to 2?
Might be 12 or 2. And it's going to be around about 8 hours shift. And 7 days. And employees, I can say in that kind of, in this kind of neighborhood, is not going to be more than. No drive-through. Yeah, 1,800 square foot restaurant. And I need per shift 4 employees, should be more than enough for this restaurant.
4?
Yes, sir.
And that, you're gonna wait tables and cook the food and?
No, they don't
No,
make
no,
tables.
we don't serve.
Waiter or waiting service. You just, it's like a Burger King, they have a counter, and bring it to your table.
Okay, somebody's gonna clear the tables, though.
No. It's
Oh, they're gonna leave the,
People,
Take your tray and then you dump the food and you put
Mo-
the tray back.
most people do that, but a lot of people don't.
Yes, they're gonna have to empty the garbage, put the table.
Yeah, mostly like McDonald's and all other stuff, you know, they usually
Yeah.
take the garbage back to the
Okay.
dumpster and leave the tray there, and every couple of hours or whenever we require, we just go send someone out to clean up the lot.
Okay.
I'd like to ask you about trash pickup, trash receptacle location,
question.
delivery times and frequency, and the style of trucks that deliver, whether it's a tractor trailer or more of a box truck.
About the trash,
Yeah,
So let's start with the trash. Yes, trash too. So where is the trash receptacle? It's probably on the site plan, right?
it should be,
I don't see it. Thank you.
No, we didn't depict it, but this area behind the building.
there
Is
is?
it gonna be a trash, large trash thing, or do you have like smaller can? Like, is it the traditional?
yeah, it's kind of small dumpster, you know, usually they provide a 2-yard container.
So that house behind, the closest house to the subject property, it says Thale or Thale. I don't know. It says residential. Is it a residential house?
There's a residential house behind there, so I would say the dumpster would be behind the building. And if you have
Right, you know why I'm asking. Yeah, because without the trash receptacle being on the site plan, whoever got notice might not know, and that's a big, you know, Mr. Minerva, that's an issue for people. So you're suggesting you would put the trash bin up close to the building?
There's
Okay,
not gonna
and
be
then-
enough backup space.
Well, let's get there. We're gonna get to that. Okay. Which we'll get to that also, so how often do, you run other Popeyes? And is one or more of them approximately this size? Okay, and how often do you have to get the trash picked up at those?
So usually we, in the back of the house, we have this plastic.
Can you use the microphone?
Oh, yeah. On the back of the house, we usually have the big containers in an empty place. So when we remove the trash.
You have them in an enclosure though, right?
Yeah, inside the restaurant with the covers. So we put the, all the garbage in there, and usually by the end of the shift, means 8-hour shift, they take out on the backside of the parking lot and dump it into the 2-yard container.
Hold on. Wait, Mr.
Or-
Minerva, no, he's talking about having the trash receptacle on the backside of the parking lot, not near the house, not near the building.
Man-
The outdoor one,
Yeah, outdoor one, outdoor one.
but up against your building, not by the houses.
No, it's in the backside of the parking
Okay.
lot. It's all depends,
So my question was, how often does the garbage truck come to empty?
every day.
Oh,
That garbage pickup cardboards is like about 4 times. It's all depend on the location. Some locations, like Manhattan locations, they have 7 days garbage and 7 days cardboard.
so do you expect that this location will need the trash picked up every day?
6 days for the trash, that's for sure.
Okay, and
at
is-
least 4 days for the cardboard.
Is it a private carter?
Yeah, we have this Royal.
Okay, are they going to, since I don't know how large the receptacle is, I guess it might be a little smaller than I expected since it's picked up every day. Is this truck gonna pull onto the premises, I take it, is it so large a receptacle that they're gonna have
Yeah,
to use an
yeah,
automated arm?
Yeah, exactly. That's what they do.
What time,
They usually come around 2, 3 a.m. in the morning.
that may be a problem. Because when they dump it and run the motor, see, because you're near, it's not like Manhattan, because you're near the residents, these are the main problems we have with businesses. What are we gonna do about that?
But what we can do is this, it's on us to tell them, yeah, we can schedule the time.
But I think the 2 a.m.'s the issue.
So we can schedule the time. So if that is a condition for the board, that there'll be no pickup before a certain hour, that will
And
be
after another.
acceptable. And, you know, we have our own parking lot, so it's not like they're doing it in the street. And the parking lot's behind the building, so the parking lot's a buffer between our restaurant
Right.
and the house there. We also have, we're showing a landscape buffer on the back side of our proposed parking lot. And we'll keep the dumpster against the building, and we'll, you know, if
Yeah,
boards
so-
would like to restrict the hours,
Yeah,
we'll accept
what,
the restriction
when
on the
is your
hours.
least busy time in the late afternoon?
Around early morning, and,
Do you have a lull between the lunch and the dinner?
Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
looking,
yeah.
what would that
Yeah,
range
2 to
be?
4 o'clock.
2 to 4?
4 o'clock, yeah.
They also don't serve breakfast, right?
No,
Okay.
we don't.
So
We
you
don't
could
sell
do
breakfast.
mid-morning.
So we call that, when do you start picking up for lunch, 11?
Around about 11.
And what time do your people get there? Do you need your people
10.
there for the pickup for the trash?
No, no, it's a garbage company, they pick up
Okay,
the trash.
so we could do something like 9 to 11 or 2 to 4 or something like
Yeah.
that? Okay, and then as it relates to your deliveries, are they tractor trailers or are they box trucks?
No, they are box trucks.
And how often do you get those?
We get the delivery 2 times for the chicken.
2
and
times
one-
per week?
Yeah, 2 times per week, and we get 1 for the dry product.
One for the dry
Dry
part? So 3 box cars, do they come on the same day or different days?
No, different days.
So 3 box trucks a week.
Yeah.
Okay, and when do they usually come?
It's all depend on us, how we gonna schedule them.
How you what?
How we gonna? When you're open. When we are open, yeah, only when we are open.
Okay, when you're open, but you're open till 2 a.m. in the
Yes.
morning.
So, if the concern...
Usually, chicken delivery is always in the morning.
Okay, how
Around
early?
about between 10 and 12, depending on their route.
Okay,
they-
so those two can happen between 10 and 2, and that would work for you?
Yeah,
2 p.m.?
2 p.m.
Okay, and the other delivery?
Other delivery is also, we can negotiate with them when we want to receive the delivery when we are slow,
Okay.
when
10
we
to-
are less
does-
busy.
Does
So we can do it early morning, between 10 and 12 o'clock.
10 and 2, so we could just
Yeah.
do all of them 10 to 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that, or whatever. That gives the range that there aren't so many people trying to sleep. Okay, so that's that. Now, real quick, before I forget, parking. Give us the numbers, Mr. Minerva, on the maneuverability, and you got the front yard, I'm trying to remember. You
Yeah,
have,
I discussed the front yard setback.
maneuverability, right, and the backup space.
So the,
What did, if you said already, I apologize.
no, I only
You're required
discussed
to
the
have
front yard
24.
setback, so I'm gonna let Ethan talk about the backup space. And again, this is an existing parking lot, we're not, introducing this.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted.
So it's been
we'll-
operating that way for
The
100
decisions will need
years.
the numbers in it, though.
Yeah,
You know,
fine.
that's why we have to,
So we have, the backup space, we have 16.9 on the westerly side of the parking lot.
Where
the
24
deeper
is required.
side, and 14.2 closer to the curb cut, where the handicap stall is.
so how many have the 16?
Now, we have the 20 feet width on the, 20 feet length on the handicap stall, 18 feet length on the non-handicap stalls.
So all the spots are of this right size, 18 by 9 or larger?
They're 9 by 18 or larger, yes.
Okay,
So
and-
the variance isn't for parking stall size, it's only for backup, I believe.
So that's the maneuverability. So you're required 24. How many of them have the 16.9 and how many have the 14.2?
Well, there's only 3, so one has the 14.2, and
Okay.
it looks like 2 of them have the 16.9.
Okay, great. All right, so I guess he can,
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the plan, you'll see there's only 3 stalls. You have, what, 16.9?
16.9
Yep.
for 2 of them, 14.2 for the one that's right at the
Right.
curb cut.
So you don't have parking back to back. There is enough maneuverability for someone to back up in that 16-foot area, and they don't have to worry about opposing parking on the opposite side. Typically, if you have a 24-foot aisle, you have parking on both sides. And then exit. That's passenger cars entering into the spots, backing out and leaving. For delivery, they're gonna have to probably pull in to the lot. If there's no one parked, then they'll just have to pull in, make their delivery, and then back out.
and can you instruct the drivers not to leave the vehicles, diesel vehicles idling? That's always an issue for people. Thank you. How long does it take them to bring in all your stuff, completed? How long are they there? 20 minutes?
Does not take more than 10 to 15 minutes, because we usually have in each truck about 30 to 35 cases, and they are usually 2 people to deliver. And the other delivery, it might take 30 minutes, depending on the product.
Yeah, so just instruct them not to leave it idling. That always bothers people because it's loud. Okay, keep going. Try to think of it.
I think that, concludes our direct case unless there's any other questions from the board. And then I would just indicate that we believe the proposals in keeping with the character of the area will not be detrimental to surrounding property owners, and we request your favorable consideration.
I have one question, there's 2 dumpsters that are gonna be, one for trash and one for cardboard.
Does the cardboard go in the
I
dumpster?
think you said they leave it inside.
They usually give us 2 different containers,
So
right? 2 different containers, one for garbage, one for
Yes.
cardboard. But it's a typical dumpster, but usually they charge for that. What we keep, we usually, if we have a 7 days pickup on cardboards, we just we just wrap them around and leave it by outside, by the front, so they can pick it up the cardboard 7 days a week.
I get that. I'll wait for Mr. Minerva to come back.
Mr. Minerva, wait a second. I personally am at a disadvantage. I cannot see the dumpsters on here. I don't know how much space they're gonna take. I don't know if these parking spaces are actually gonna be accessible. I mean, you leave the larger spot is 15-foot backup.
Okay, well, if the board would leave the record open for me to submit an amended site plan adding the location of the dumpsters, we'd be happy to do that. My client was also telling me they have some smaller container options where they have 4 smaller containers, almost like oversized garbage pails that they have in the back in the city, so,
They're not gonna be able to,
Yeah,
that's
I
not gonna
think they
get picked
might,
up by
because they
a
have
truck.
picked up every night.
yeah,
They're not-
every day.
A truck is not gonna come in there and claw it and dump it in the back, not tiny ones.
Maybe it's more like when regular garbage. The one thing is, if you use the smaller containers, when it comes to restaurants, we always get this, another issue, I'm sorry you have to hear all the issues we have, but,
He
is
said the carting,
make-
I'm sorry, apologize for interrupting.
is to make sure that it's all tightly lidded, because the food refuge attracts little creatures.
Yeah,
We have these containers by the sidewalk, which we don't have a back area. So we have on a sidewalk, and those containers are hooked with the wall. Because
They're what?
sometimes
hooked to the
chained-
wall.
Chained with the wall, because sometimes it's been stolen. So we chained it and also lock the top, so nobody can open up and throw the garbage in.
Is that the one that the mayor made everyone buy those things?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And the client indicated to me, the carting companies, for the ones that have the smaller containers, where you have 4 small containers, they, as regular sanitation people do, they just take the garbage out and throw
Yeah.
it in the
I-
truck and pull out.
I mean, it's probably better
Yeah.
that the food debris is picked up every day. That's,
Yeah.
when you said it's every day, the first thing I thought of was, well, it's these smaller containers then.
So we'll explore the 2 options, and we'll add it to the site plan, and we'll give you an amended site plan.
Great, I have that in a note, so perfect, Mr. Nerva. I don't know, do any of you guys have any further questions?
So we don't, we're not showing that on the site plan. You have 1 handicap, so you do have 2 other spaces. If the board wanted those to be designated as pickup only, 10-minute parking or something, 5-minute parking, we certainly can do
It's
that.
not a bad idea,
Yeah. Right now, no, that's not on the site plan.
but I think that's a good idea, because 85% of their business is that business. And you know what else that works with this? Because if people already know, so the way the parking lot is, you pull in this way, but you're gonna have to back right, and there's not a lot of space. If people know, maybe even if the lot was posted, pickup only lot, then people will just go look for a spot to stay in. you
Yeah,
know?
obviously, we can't
And they
legally
won't
do-
kind of wait, queue on Hempstead Turnpike, waiting for people to come out.
Obviously, we can't legally
That's
do
a
that
good
with the
idea.
handicap space, but with the other 2 spaces, we could designate them for
Yeah,
pickup
exactly.
only.
I think that might be a good idea.
Okay.
And if it says it on the lot, so people don't wait outside thinking, oh, I'll see if someone's gonna leave so I can go in and, oh, that's a good idea. Do you think, as a business owner and operator with a lot of experience, do you think that makes sense for your business model to have that? To have those as?
Yeah.
It's 85% of your business, so it might make sense. Okay. Does anyone, are there any other questions from the board? If not, are you finished, Mr. Minerva?
Yes, sir.
If not, do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar, subject to you putting the dumpsters on here.
Amended site plan I will be submitting.
Amended site plan.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a nice day. Can I speak to you for 1 second? Sure.
Thank you.
I move that we adjourn to, for 15 minutes and come back and do the decision calendar.
Second. Aye.
I don't understand why. She's very, very, very good.
Why did you come in here? Is there any one case? Did you?
Because they're making arrangements. I'm not going to work, so they're making arrangements to go up with an ambulance to bring her home. So
Oh, because you couldn't take her home. They wouldn't let you
they
take her.
don't let me, no, she's still a patient. She's just a patient in another location.
So
So
what is it?
it's a new program. Yeah. She let it get out of hand again, and she got an infection. It gets worse. So
Yeah.
I said, next time you don't wait, we'll go right to the hospital. That's it.
Yeah. There's so much going on. I've been sick. I'm on an antibiotic. I've been
you're
sick
still-
for 12 days. She was sick.
You're
That's
still
Joanne.
congested.
Well, I know.
Joanne's
And
got-
Joanne.
that should be analyzed as a whole, in my opinion.
So I know what you were saying,
So it is possible that no one ever analyzed. So the reason that mattered to me today is because now we have to grant, if we approve it, an 18-spot variance. So my big thing has always been, when we grant variances, I'll use a property that drove me insane. It's the Avis property, which is now up there on Old Country Road. So when that came before us, they needed a fairly significant parking variance, and they were building a parking garage in the back, which they then abandoned. But it was supposed to be a large hotel, so most people would come by taxi for seminars, hotel with, you know, those spaces for conventions. And like a Starbucks, a boutique Starbucks, and basically that. So we approve it, but a big part of our analysis is the fact. All right, do you think she'll be back soon? All right, so we'll just do the reserve. All right, let's do the reserve calendar. Case 599.
No, not yet.
Well, wait. Right, I meant, sorry. Renewal.
Why she's so screwed up?
I'm not good at this, John. You need to do, all right, case 599, 2024 in Levittown. Nancy Carapalucci. The property is at 68 Amber Lane. Is there any discussion? It's a renewal. If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, file number 599 of 24, Nancy Cara Palausi, renewal of grant to maintain 6-foot-high stockade fence and 3-foot-high vinyl fence. Be grant, is this the one that we're taking part of it down? Oh, that's the
No,
one
that's
with
not
the
this
drop.
one.
Be granted as requested, 5 years, same condition.
Second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, case 600, 2024, Redmond Road, LLC, property 2238 Redmond Road, Merrick. Any discussion? If not, motion?
I make a motion for case 624, renewal of grant to maintain two-family dwelling, and it's been approved by the planning department. I mean,
Second.
Building department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same conditions, 5 years. 601, 2024, Sebastiana Martinez, 479 Bayview Avenue in Inwood. Any discussion? If not, motion?
Case 601 of 24, in Inwood, located at 479 Bayview Avenue, be approved as requested.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same conditions, 5 years. Case
Yep.
602, 2024 through 605, 2024, 865 Merrick Partners LLC in Westbury. Any discussion? If not, motion?
I move that case 602 to 605, 2024 at 865 Merrick Avenue in Westbury be granted temporarily with the same previously imposed conditions.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
606, 2024, 954 Car Wash Corp. Sorry, go ahead. What did I say? I'll recall it. 606, 2024, 954 Car Wash Corp., 954 Nassau Road in Uniondale. Any discussion? If not, motion?
I make a motion, case 606 of 24, Uniondale 954, car wash, renewal of grant to maintain one double-face sign, be granted as requested, 5 years, same conditions.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, case 607, 24, Hempstead Tire Service, Inc. That one we adjourned to 12/4. We second called it and the applicant didn't appear. I think that's at 11 o'clock? Is that at 11 o'clock?
Would that be in order to appear?
Yeah, I guess we probably should. Good idea, Mr. Pellegrini. 608, 2024,
Is this the one
West
with
Hempstead.
the bathroom in the basement?
No,
That I believe the board discussed the potential condition to either have it removed or
Yeah,
legalized.
yes.
He said, yeah, yes.
oh,
And there was also a
no, it's funny. No, there's another one. So- Yeah, I mixed it up with the other one, so. Okay. I'm sorry, repeat that.
I said, is this the one with the bathroom in the basement that we were either going to take it out or they had to legalize it?
Right,
I believe the board discussed the condition, the potential condition that the applicant can either legalize or remove the bathroom
Right.
in the basement, so he's not
That's-
included.
that's the note I wrote too, you're right. Okay, so, does someone want to discuss it and/or make a motion with conditions?
Okay, I make the motion for 60824, 556 Washington Avenue, West Hempstead. Obviously, we have to have conditions with regard to the basement. And,
Okay, and I think, I apologize, counsel to the board was making notes as we had the hearing, so there were an additional 2 conditions, and those were that there be no exterior basement entrance, and as you said, basement in the, bathroom in the basement be legalized or removed, and that we instruct the council, I guess will instruct the applicant that we need a basement, an accurate basement plan.
So then would you like to put it on reserve?
Yeah,
pending receipt of
I
same?
think we should do that if, and you'll reach out to them?
I'll contact the applicant, letting them know that we need an accurate basement plan.
Okay, and that will have to reflect their decision, right? Okay. And then, let's see, 609-2024 near East Rockaway. Sorry, I wrote, give me 1 second.
Oh, actually, on that case, the expediter, amended the plan with that was the one that you asked to break down exactly. Percentage. So, she did, and she actually, yes, she wanted to make an application to reopen the case solely to correct the testimony and submit the amended plan, which I have here. Was she corrected? Yeah, so, for to see what she did, she initialed it and dated it. She did the coverage breakdown, and there was actually an issue. The county got
setback.
contacted
This
on the lot
next,
area.
this next one, this one, the next one is the one with the height, that's 32 and a half feet.
They added it, it's
That was the
actually.
issue on that, I think.
My understanding is that they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But, exactly.
Yeah.
But regardless, she took that off, so the application is really for a 55.4% lot area occupied.
I always take notes.
Deck being
I always take notes on
7.64%.
certain things, otherwise I just write yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Also, now I'm remembering, the Rockaway case, I thought someone should inspect, because from the Google Earth that Mr. Plummer showed us, and Plumer, I thought you told me,
Certain people call him plumber.
sorry. From between that and some of the photographs that we saw, I think someone should look at it because the encroachment is, I think, relatively significant, given that it's a corner property. There was another one nearby, but she couldn't tell me where it was exactly. Just let me look at my notes here.
This is a 4-inch setback. 4 inches. Do you know what, that's like the pickle we had today.
That was for the 3
That was,
bones.
that was a real small pickle, actually.
Yeah,
2 feet.
If I'm not
Right.
mistaken, I believe it's a 30 by 60 lot. It is.
And they've had
Okay,
previous
so-
grants from this board.
so we're gonna hold 608, and now we're on 609. I would like someone to, I'll go look at 609. I just need the materials if someone can pull them.
Well, it's not there, correct?
The deck's not, but I want to look at, I want to see the measurements.
Okay.
If I could just get the radius map, because I'll make notes on it.
We'll get to
Yeah, we'll get it after we're done. Okay, so we're going to hold 609. Okay, 610 and 611, 2024. The property is at 705 Peninsula Boulevard in Woodmere. Hillel M. Tuckman. Any discussion?
I have a problem with a 32-foot roof.
Yeah, and I wrote
That's-
see
you
the
give us a
dock.
Good reason.
Pat, microphone. Microphone. Thank you.
I had a problem with the
I,
32 and a half.
yeah,
it off.
that one, you know what, let's hold that one, and next time we're here or before, I want to go through the numbers, because the way that she wrote the documents, she considered 0, usually 0 is either the elevation, or it's the grade, or the crown, and it's none of those. She made the 0 the finished first floor, so I'm gonna,
Why can't we just ask her to modify the plan so it's 30
we could.
30 feet?
But-
The
Well, if
rest
it
of-
gets
No, you don't
denied-
mean modify the plans, you mean just deny the height. If you want to make a motion to that effect, you can.
Well, that would be my opinion. I thought we had a line in the sand with 30 feet, because we don't want to set a precedent.
Okay.
I mean,
so
that's just my opinion. I mean,
I don't think anyone here disagrees with you.
She had mentioned it was just aesthetics to it. That's why the increase. That's what she mentioned.
Okay.
I always thought that certain things we try to, try to keep steady, so somebody else doesn't come by and say, well, you gave
Make
them
a
32
motion.
Make a motion.
Always me.
So let me see what else she asked for. Height, lot area occupied, front yard, rear yard. So you need to break it up. So the height request is case,
He's talking, he's not listening.
it's okay. is the height. Lot.
I make a motion, file number 610 of 24, Woodmeal LLM Tuckman be denied for height and granted for the rest. 611 of 24 be granted as requested.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
That's
Yes,
a grant
carries.
part denying part.
Yep.
Correct, for 610.
Yep,
Yep.
got it.
Thank you.
Okay, case 612, 2024, Catherine Gremps. The property's at 3293 Bayfront Drive in Baldwin. Any discussion? Not, do I have a motion?
Move case 612, no, was it 612?
Yeah.
612 of 24 Baldwin, Catherine Ramsey, located at 3293 Bayfront Drive, be approved as requested.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Isn't that with conditions subject to the building department's?
Temporary subject.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep,
The
so with
senior
the senior resident condition.
of course.
Case 613, 2024, Daniel Knoll and Alana Leah, properties at 356 Oakford Street in West Hempstead. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move that case 613, 2024 at 356 Oak Ford Street in West Hempstead be granted as requested.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Case 614, Jamie Romero, property 53 Clinton Avenue in Inwood, was adjourned to December 4th at 11 o'clock. Case 615, 2024, Mike Walther, 32 Spring Lane, Levittown. Any discussion, any motion?
File number 615 of 24, Levittown, Mike Walder, variance side yard aggregate be granted as requested.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Case 616, 2024, Craig Resmovitz and Gabrielle Katz, property 681 Knoll Drive in West Hempstead. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
Before, variances, front yard, average setback, granted with conditions.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Case 617, 2024, James Grust and Christine Gilly, property 103 Belmore Avenue, Point Lookout. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
Oh, go ahead.
So I spoke to the plans examiner because they were trying to build below the BFE. They got a state variance that the plans examiner was unaware of, but the plans examiner reviewed same, and he is in agreement that the additions are not considered a substantial improvement. If I'm not mistaken, the addition is a total of 52 feet, 52 square feet is the front and rear
And
addition.
state granted him a variance anyway.
State granted him a variance.
On the freeboard,
They granted both.
they granted a variance.
They did, but in contrary to the other case, this is not a substantive improvement.
Right, but I'm interested that they grant him a variance from ours. It would seem we would have to do that.
FEMA is, they granted it for, DFE is really them, the state.
Right, that's why I said, do they grant it also for ours,
Well,
or BFE?
They granted it for BFE as well.
So they're building below BFE.
Correct, but the reason that it's not an issue is it's not a substantive improvement.
Right. But still, I would have thought they would grant from freeboard, and then we would have to, using the same rationale probably, grant the variance below BFE.
So is this a case that we should maybe put on reserve just to look into it a little further?
I'm not against it.
I think that's it.
Because, again,
There's a few,
yeah,
there are a few questions I still have, so I want to, let's put that on reserve and have council look into it.
Yeah, right. Duck. Yeah,
All right.
duck.
So we'll put that on reserve with a view toward deciding it next time we meet. 6/18/2024, Nicola Caparasso, property 57 Chelson Court, Oceanside. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 618 of 24 in Oceanside, Nicola Caparosa.
Caparasso.
Located 57 Chesleyan Court, be approved as requested.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Case 619, Thomas O'Neill, 2099 Paddock Road, Seaford. Any discussion? If not, motion?
Which one? I move that case 618 of 2024.
619.
Yeah, that too. At 2099 Paddock Road in Seaford be granted as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Case 620, 2024, Roy Ever Atahalupa. I'm sorry for butchering the name.
Too late.
The address is 740 Willow Road in Franklin Square. That's a case that we need to put on reserve. I want a full board here. They need to go through the materials and watch the video, read the transcript, and a number of people, myself included, are going to inspect that. So we'll put that on hold.
You might want to send them a note to clean up the property.
I think that message was transmitted at the hearing.
Would you like an official one from the council to the board?
What would that look like? Yeah, we'll hold this case on reserve. And- Okay, so we're going to put this on reserve. The question before us right now is whether or not we need to have council send a letter to the applicant reiterating that which was discussed at the hearing. Number of the board members are going to inspect it. 4 of us inspected it today at our break, and just to have an understanding of the conditions at the location now.
there's a stay of enforcement, that's not an issue.
So we'll put it on reserve. We'll figure out if we're going to have a letter sent out, and let's move on to the next case.
They're on the,
Also, I think there needs to be a nexus between the violation, like the car. My argument about that would be, the presentation was that they need more bedrooms, right, or whatever, they need more space. So the argument would be, well, if you're claiming you need to put a second level for space, but you're using other spaces for that, like you could argue, we wanted to see how much, they say they need more space, but if they've got, a lot going on another floor, we could argue that. Agreed. I'm gonna try and, I hate not. So we're going to hold that one. And we'll figure out about the other thing. So case 334 of 2024 in Oceanside, FRJ, Oceanside Donuts, Inc., DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 2885 Long Beach Road. Any discussion? If not, do we have, I grant an appearance waiver. If not, do I have a motion?
Case 334 of 24, I make a motion, Oceanside Dunkin' Donuts be granted as requested, 5 years, same condition.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Case 546, 2024, and 547, 2024, Ryan and Denise Duck, property 103 Saddle Lane in Levittown. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
Joe, so why don't you do this?
I
This
will.
the one with the fence?
Well, thank you for deferring.
Yeah. No, I'm deferring for him.
Case 546 to 547. I move that case 546, which includes the front yard setback, maintain the roof over attached to the dwelling, be granted as requested, and that case 547 to maintain the 4-foot high fence forward of the dwelling be denied.
The whole case?
The whole case 547.
Oh, okay. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Oh, I feel bad now. I told him we'd probably make him cut it back 8 to 10 feet.
Oh, well.
It's not much more than that. Okay, case 579, 2020,
479.
what's wrong with me? 479, 2024,
Do we have time?
right? 299 Hempstead LLC, doing business as Popeyes. The property is at 299 Hempstead Turnpike in Elmont. Hold on.
Do we get any chicken sandwiches out of this deal? Couple of chicken sandwiches, maybe.
Okay, so this case, on this case, the initial CEQA determination was made prior to the hearing, but of course, we haven't made our final CEQA determination, so whoever is making motion on this case, please address that issue first.
I believe that when I did an amended,
Yes.
yeah, it's just gonna email me.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to put on reserve?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we could.
Yes, you're in it.
Yeah,
Whatever I want.
come do reserve.
Yes.
Come do reserve,
Sure.
John.
I can do reserve, but I gotta sit here because you people screwed me out of my seat.
Here's, oh.
Ginny the germ, another
Me, I'm
Ginny
like,
the... She was working.
Kim's on antibiotics, and I was never sick. My doctor said.
Share. Okay. Now I'm in control. Who said that? Remember who said that? I'm in control. Wasn't it a general in the one, when something happened? No, but years, I'm talking about many years ago. John, you'll remember. Wasn't there somebody who stepped up? Oh, I think it was Alexander Haig. No. He was never in control. Do you know the story about his paycheck?
No.
You don't know that? Okay, so. Yeah, it's a true story. And Alexander. Yeah,
That's all it takes.
so all you need is the military. Okay, cases 365 to 368 of 2022. I heard a rumor that we had something on that. Okay,
We checked with building. The sprinkler permit and review with the fire marshal's office was completed, approved by them, and everything was approved by the building department.
So where does that put us in terms of having sprinklers installed?
The time for actually doing it,
No, I just meant like,
the permit was issued.
okay, so,
Call him back in.
yeah, let's call him back in.
I think we should call him back in and put him under the gun for,
call him back
finding out
in.
his timeline.
All right.
Because technically, he's got 2 years to do this.
We should probably have a firm date.
Yeah, let's,
Yeah,
Definitely.
December 4th.
No, sooner.
Well, wait, let me just back up. When we call him back in, are we required to, does he have to give notice to people?
No.
Okay,
Give him, what's the
sooner
next
than that,
hearing
I
date?
agree.
Bring him in the next hearing date. He just has to tell us when he's gonna start and finish the work.
And maybe when we call him back in, we'll give him an idea of what we want him to bring. So he doesn't think, oh my God, I gotta get experts or whatever.
Sure.
He doesn't have to bring anything. He already
Well,
got
I
a
mean,
permit.
you're right, but we gotta tell him that, so he doesn't say, wait, I can't be here in a week, I need my lawyer, I need
No,
this.
he just needs, okay.
I know, but we just have to tell him, Joe, I
got
agree
it.
with you. I think the sooner the
The
better.
9th is what, October 9th? Yeah.
That way, that way
Yeah.
we can get the
Okay.
sprinklers in.
And then what do you guys want him to
Right.
bring?
Well, we want him to
Himself.
note to him that we understand he received the permits and the approval from the fire marshal to install the sprinklers, and we want him to come in, if he's represented by counsel, we probably should have him bring him, because I don't want to speak to him without
He
counsel.
had an architect on his side.
Okay, so I don't
Alright.
care if he brings
Bring
him
in
or
the
not.
architect. And tell him the intent is to establish a firm time frame.
Yeah.
All right?
Now, what we don't want him to think is that we're calling him to give more testimony about the use variance he requests, right?
It's in front of us just for an extension of time.
Okay, so then he needs to bring the information about the sprinklers and, well, let's back up. What do we, if he comes in and says, I will have the sprinkler, Joe, I need your input. If he comes in and says, listen, I can have the sprinklers in a week, are we then in a position that we are willing to consider an extension of time? And or are we willing to grant it? Is the only hold that we have that we want the sprinklers in, and that's why we didn't want to give him more time because we want it safe?
Exactly.
Okay, so if he comes in with sufficient plan for installation of sprinklers, pretty, ASAP, then you could tell long he needs as an extension of time. What do you think? Right, so we'll see the 3-year plan, we'll be in a position then, based on whatever else he wants to tell us about the extension of time, so we can judge it.
Yes.
Good. Okay, next case. We did. We did.
Maybe you weren't here.
Yeah, it was only me. No, I was here. Weren't you here?
The four of us. Yeah, we were there.
Next.
Next case.
No updates on the rest of page one.
Good.
I'm still waiting for the plan. I believe that we actually need to submit new plans because something was missing.
That's the mikveh?
That's the mix.
Okay.
Reopen it?
It's,
Amended plans.
yeah, but it's, they removed the decks, remember the?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yep. Did we? I did. Go on, go on. Stay. Go on.
Lucky guy.
We don't know how they do it. Yeah, yeah. That was Friday. Didn't they mention that on Friday? Or something akin to it, the OPW, bada, the 7 ham sandwiches and
I think so.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Next.
Yeah, 81 Baldwin? Yeah.
So long ago you forgot. Let's move on to the next one. We'll come back to this one. Move on. Go ahead.
Race judicata.
I have no update on anything else from page 2.
Yeah, I think John was gonna help me out.
Lasco.
Okay.
It can stay. It's existing.
Get right.
You're right.
Go ahead, make your motion. Mr.
There it is again.
Pellegrini.
That's the backside of
Yep.
it.
Yep. It's a nice neighborhood.
It is.
Yeah.
That's my new car.
His new car or yours?
Mine.
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
You take photos of
Chris.
engines?
You guys, do this.
Yes, come on.
Okay, go ahead.
Case 550, 551, the variance height to maintain a two-car garage forward of the dwelling should be denied. It really changes the area character. It's an oversized shed, garage rather, and it's in the wrong location. It's the only one in the neighborhood, and I think it creates a bad precedent. As to case 521,
551.
I'm sorry, she's rubbing off. 551, 2024, the fence within a clear sight triangle, I think that's fine and should be granted for a period of 5 years.
Second,
Second.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
On 25824. Yeah, I'd like to send him something in writing saying he has X amount of days to submit new plans.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I've emailed him twice. I haven't heard back from him on the second one.
I'll email him if you'd like, or you wanna send a proper letter? Or both.
You can email him and say you have X amount of days or the board is going.
I remember we did that on the major elevation plan.
Yeah.
This one is,
This is- This is Kasubas. Does he acknowledge that he received the email?
He acknowledged the first one, he never acknowledged the second.
So maybe a written letter would do. Snail mail.
email and letter,
Yeah.
30 days?
2 weeks.
Can we do that? I'm in.
I'm happy to contact all of these people,
Yeah.
and, because, I mean, this is not. .588 of 2024 be dismissed or denied? Denied on administrative res judicata?
Denied on administrative res judicata.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now,
regards to case 597-24, that was the storage facility. We did receive 2 emails from Christian Brown. The first one was this morning, his client met with the managers of the site in light of the complaints. The manager conceded that there are a number of vehicle storage tenants. They are going to be evicting several tenants. They're receiving 30-day notices. In addition, they are willing to propose a series of strict conditions that would ban any rentals to landscapers and the operation of any vehicle or machinery on the premises other than start up and drive away. The second email, Christian asked if the board could refrain from making a decision as they are working on further proposed conditions dealing with. Okay. Mm-hmm. I didn't even turn it. Oh, it is on.
Yeah, and it's not necessary.
Yeah, the one thing.
You want to call it? As it relates to case 412-2024, John Gallivan and Anne Marie Byrne, that's a case that I was here for all the materials. I had done an inspection twice, and I just reviewed the materials because I had a question about the height of some of the ceilings. The request is for a 1.5-foot height variance, along with a number of other variances: lot area occupied, front yard over setback, side yard aggregate, rear yard, etc., not uncommon in Point Lookout. My opinion is that the 1.5-foot height variance is unnecessary and not warranted. They have high ceilings and they can make up the space elsewhere. It's a 612 pitch. We're even giving them a roof deck, so a FEMA level, 2 more levels, and a roof deck. So my motion is, as it relates to that case, yeah, you're, but I'm not chairing this, it's reserved, you're chairing.
I'm chairing it.
All right, 1 second. So I move we grant in part, deny in part, that we grant everything but the height variance and deny the height variance.
Second.
Did you see my text?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Where?
should let them know that if they don't have a meaningful update with us, that things have been filed and it's denied to us within 30 days, that it should be adjourned sine die.
With the building department, not us.
Oh, correct.
Okay.
Because that needs to get done.
I agree.
Except we
Okay.
can't adjourn it sine die.
No,
Because they're maintains.
just,
So why didn't we adjourn it?
Because then they have no interest in,
That's fair.
Just-
So dismiss it.
it's gonna have to
It
be
will-
something like
Okay.
that.
it could possibly.
Because that would allow enforcement action.
Correct. So it-
Possibly be dismissed.
Correct, so they'll
That's
risk
what you
dismissal.
said, yes.
So that one, so I'll,
Yeah.
30 days, okay.
Verdiland,
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
another
you're
one.
right.
I think we should do the same thing.
I agree. Now, on the next two, which are Verdeland, it was
mikveh?
a subdivision, we were waiting for the applicant to potentially change the lot sizes. We were notified that the applicant was some type of diplomat or in the armed services or something on a secret mission overseas. Well, it just so happened that about a month or two ago, the applicant came into our office asking for the status, and I said, well, you have an attorney, you need to contact them, we're waiting for.
Is it O'Brien?
Yes.
You were on a secret mission.
Well, yes, so I think that I'm happy to contact Mr. O'Brien to get an update and also mention that if we don't have a status update within 30 days, that it risks dismissal. Agreed.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to the last one, 217, we do have an update on that. The plans that were submitted needed to be corrected again. The plans examiner is still working with the applicant to get the correct plans. You will all remember that the board granted in part, denied in part that case, but when doing the decision, the numbers, the math wasn't mathing with the numbers with lot area. So we weren't able to do the decision, still didn't get the plans, it was holding up our minutes, we reopened it, put it on its reserve. So we're waiting for information from the applicant still. That one, they're working on it.
Did you file the minutes?
Yeah, well, we did.
Oh,
We
okay.
reopened it because
Right.
we couldn't do our decision.
Right.
So that's why it's back on here, but they are
Okay.
working on it. So the building department and the applicant are in contact.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Can we go home now?
Okay.
That's it? That's it for you?
I have a couple things, but you go.
Section of time, all time, all first requests, all
Okay.
construction.
You want to do it?
Well, I'm sorry, secure permit.
Case, gentlemen, lady?
Christine, can you grab case 620?
Case 245 and 244 and 245. The case was heard in April of 2024. They need an extension of time to construct and maintain. The applicant is David and China. Weiselberg in Inwood. Any discussion on this? We'll grant them a 9-month extension of time.
Yep.
Thank you. Case number 183, 184, ABC Ocean 34053 LLC was heard on April 17th. It's a subdivision somewhere. It's a subdivision on Ocean Avenue in Oceanside. He's just going through the planning commission. Do we have a grant of 1-year extension of time? Planning commission takes a while.
Yep.
And a Gospel Church Assembly, it's case number 292, 294, is heard May 15th, 2024. And it's an extension of time to secure permits. It's on Dutch Broadway in Elmont. Do we have a motion to extension of time for them to secure a building permit? 1 year? Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
other house?
This is a slightly different one. So the applicant is now trying to convert a small office that's 150 square feet, to an area for a beauty class that would have no more than 3 students at a time. So it's not in the BZA's original grant, but they wanted to know if they needed to come back for a new hearing, or if the board was
When
okay.
was their original grant?
The original grant, I will open it
Might be
now.
the cake lady, remember the cake
I
lady?
do remember the cake lady, which again was not
One
a,
student, yeah.
correct. So that's, it wasn't, it looks like it was from 1997, the original grant, and the plans examiner went through everything.
Wow, who was that?
Was it,
From Montemorano.
what is her,
So, no, that's,
oh, wrong one, yeah, what's her regular business?
it's a beauty salon there,
And she wants to be able to train
like
3
you.
people?
for after hours.
It's
So
a
there
spa
would be
and
no
beauty salon.
contemporaneous use.
I don't see why not.
I personally did not think it was a heavy request, but this is it. So it was an open office, and now they're trying to convert it to a new training area.
Wait, where was it on here?
I believe it's over here, we highlighted that, and it looks like the plans are kind of
It
flipped.
doesn't need anything but other than a modification.
I don't know, is
Correct.
it even a
But
were they
it-
precluded from doing it before?
Let's look at the grant, I don't believe so, but it was not in the grant, as far as I recall.
So it's, might as well modify it to let her have it, so no one, so she doesn't have to worry later she's gonna get in trouble.
Look at, who's that guy?
That stamp. You know what, the decision's not here.
Caught me.
No, maybe there it is.
No, that's the secret. The secret.
It's gonna make us hit traffic.
Well. Oh, maybe. let's do it. You want me to just make a motion?
No, wait, what are you gonna do?
Make a motion to grant them. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to bring the board's attention to a matter that we had administratively decided previously for I'm going to bring it for reconsideration. It was originally a request for an extension of time. The board originally looked on it disfavorably, but that was in large part because the applicant's representative failed to inform the board that the extension of time was needed for the applicant to complete the site plan review with the town of Hempstead. So in order to allow that process to come to fruition as it relates to cases 802, 803, and 804 of 2010, and 796 and 797 of 2011, the applicant is 7 Columbus Avenue Corp. In all 5 cases, the address is 7 Columbus Avenue in Oceanside. I move that we grant the applicant an extension of time of a year for the applicant to complete the already started process of site plan review with the town of Hempstead, and for the applicant to get the decision from the town. That's my motion. Can anyone second it? All in favor? Aye.
Adjournment. That's adjourned. I second.
Any opposed?
Nay. We made it. Thank you.